Hello and welcome to World Talks. I'm Anna Kalczyńska. Schengen rules on halt. Border checks were reintroduced on Poland's western and northeastern frontiers with Germany and Lithuania at midnight amid a fiery political debate largely focused on the German authorities' policy of returning illegal migrants to the Polish border. Is the move justified? And how will this change affect the lives of ordinary citizens on both sides of the border, which often runs across tightly knit local communities? Joining us here today is Slawomir Majman, Deputy Director, Institute for Security and International Development. Good afternoon, and thank you for being with us here on the studio. So I propose let's start with a flare of first reaction to the latest Polish government decision from the Polish border.
We don't know who those people are. They pretend to behave, but you can see what's really going on. So after all, we bear some consequences. We cannot allow ourselves to be scared in our own country. I think it would be good if the borders remained open, because after all, we're a united Europe. However, when the issue is safety, then it's worth it. In my opinion, the safety of citizens should take priority over openness, and once the situation comes down, we can go back to what it was like before.
So these opinions were gathered at the Polish-German border in Zgorzelec. And let me just quote back, the safety of citizens should take priority over openness. So what is your understanding? What is actually going on?
Well, actually, the decision of the Polish government is a result of the growing tensions over illegal immigrants issue, illegal immigrants to the European Union issue, both internal and external tensions. And maybe let's talk about the external a little bit first, because Polish people, and finally Prime Minister Donald Tusk decided to blame Germans for hundreds of illegal or unregistered immigrants coming to Poland, being pushed back by German police into Poland, as we used to push back immigrants on the eastern border and pushing them back into Belarus. Mm-hmm. And the latest statement of Donald Tusk before taking this, I would say, risky decision, was that Polish patience evaporated. Anyway, Germans are blamed by the government for forcing Poland to reintroduce border control, and border check. Germans sending irregular immigrants into Poland. This is the first reason. We closed as well the border with Lithuania, which is a slightly different story. This is about those migrants since 2 years ago were pushed into Poland as an element of a hybrid war by Belarusian dictator to destabilize internal position of Poland. But first of all, the action of the current government, which effectively blocked the eastern border of Poland, the Polish-Belarusian border, blocked to the extent that the U.S. administration is trying to copy our experience, how to block borders. And secondly, due to the fact that the number of migrants coming from Belarus dramatically reduced. I think it's about 800 people per year, which is insignificant. Maybe there is some part in reducing this hybrid war from Belarusian side. Some part had President Andrzej Duda, who more or less a year ago met the Chinese leader Xi Jinping and insisted on Xi Jinping influence Belarus to reduce this pressure on the Polish border. As far as we know, Xi Jinping is quite fond of the Polish president. Okay. Anyway, the fact is that this Belarusian border turned out to be quite safe, and those who are willing to get illegally into Poland from the eastern side pick up the Baltic states. First of all, Lithuania, forests, lakes, whatever, and that's why we had to close the northeast border,
Exactly.
as you
But
correctly mentioned.
But the western border faces a different situation, right? The migratory pressure is far higher on the west than in the east. So much depends on those trends and pressure. How do you think, how justifies are the concerns over the German border guards' pushbacks and the new line of German policy? Is it going to be a continuous one?
I'm afraid that yes. We just started.
Yeah, we schaffen das is over.
But let me admit one point. It's Poland is no exception. Germany is no exception. Because so far, 29 countries belonging to Schengen Group announced that they are going to lift this free traffic, which is one of the greatest achievements of the European Union. I'm talking about Austria, I'm talking about France, I'm talking about, even about Italy. But the issue of the western border is first of all internal policies issue. The coalition camp in Poland is trying to recover after humiliating defeat in the presidential election and some attempts of disintegration of the ruling camp, real or not real, but sounding bad. And one of the solutions is probably to this humiliation, and this, one of the means to recovery is showing a strong hand and closing the border with Germany. We are showing, the government is showing strong hand. Moreover, the western Polish border was an object of I would say, unconventional means by the opposition, sort of a citizens' militia, citizen patrols, vigilant people patrolling and replacing security, border security there, because they are to protect the safety of the citizens. That's what we heard from the citizens, that the safety is in jeopardy because of the migrants. That was trying the extreme right opposition. And under pressure of this extreme right opposition, under pressure of this extreme right militias and all the blah blah around it created by the law and justice politicians, Donald Tusk decided to follow their pattern. It means close the border. Definitely, if it was his decision, it was a decision which was delayed. It was taken too late, and in addition, I'm afraid that the internal tension is still growing. If we can hear, you mentioned President Duda. Let me mention President-elect Nawrocki, who was praising these people who created those militia and those vigilant groups who are replacing the government.
Right.
Donald Tusk introducing this decision was simply defending himself from what the opposition says about him, that he is clumsy.
All right, so you claim that Donald Tusk is reactive, is being reactive.
In this case, he's absolutely reactive. In this case, he's absolutely reactive.
But what could he have done otherwise? What other decision is? What are the options, basically?
There was one more element, internal political element in what's happening on the western border. One was, of course, the opposition proving that the government is clumsy. The second one was raising anti-German feelings. One of the fuel of the extreme right opposition in Poland is anti-German feelings and accusations that the current government are simply Berlin puppets. And let me admit that the negotiations with the German government, German Minister of Interior, about stopping the practice of German police pushing people into Polish border without checking their papers and whatever. This decision, this negotiation with Germans failed. That's why these anti-German feelings were going up. You see, they cannot communicate with their German patrons because they are their servants. That's why it was one more element of the behind the fact, as you say, that that Donald Tusk was a bit reactive, but he had to take this decision.
All right, so how about this issue fueling the internal debate in Poland? Do you expect that this situation will somehow impact the future relations between Karol Nawrocki, the president to come, and Donald Tusk, the prime minister, who faces a very difficult decision?
I'm not dramatically optimistic about the relation between President to come, President-elect Karol Nawrocki and Donald Tusk. In any case, this relations might be disastrous.
Yes, but you know, in this very case, it's very difficult because the legal status of those vigilantes, as you call them, those border militias, is unclear. And also it proves that the government basically has no instrument to react and to control them. And they are being praised by Karol Nawrocki.
I talked to a couple guys in Poland who are who are supporting the government, and frankly speaking, they don't understand why we are paying taxes for police, why the police got clubs, if they cannot remove these militias from the border. Even now, when there are 800 border police officers dispatched to the western border, and actually there is no harm that anybody is going to invade the Polish villages and townships on the border and disturb the local peaceful citizens. It looks like that the government is not ready to get rid of this completely unruly group of people representing opposition.
As I said, much will depend on the scale. So what is the scale of those pushbacks, and what can we expect?
The point is that the number of illegal immigrants into European Union is coming down. I said that they are coming down on this eastern border with Belarus, and it's coming down in Germany. Of course, we are not able to get rid completely from the migrants problem because Global South is delivering this migrants all the time. We have a growing number of immigrants coming from Libya all the time as a result of disintegration of the Libyan state a couple of years ago. But I think the simple truth that Germany is no longer paradise for migrants, as it used to be for many years in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even during Angela Merkel policy's time. That it's true that Germany is no longer paradise, is spreading across Africa and other parts of the Global South. Some time ago I talked to the Chinese scholar who said, why you guys are criticizing our expansion toward Global South? We created 1.1 million new jobs in Africa. It means that less than 1.1 million people less will invade Germany for jobs.
Thank you so much. For the time being, Infrastructure Minister Dariusz Klimczak added that the Polish infrastructure has the capacity to deal with the increased checks, and he predicts that any difficulties will not be great. So let's see.
Well, frankly speaking, the merchants and the workers traveling to and fro between Poland and Germany are of slightly different opinion than Minister Klimczak.
Thank you so much. Slawomir Majman, Deputy Director, Institute for Security and International Development, was here with us on TVP World Talks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you for watching World Talks here on TVP World. Please stay tuned for more news and commentaries.